So, you guys probably know of who I'm about to discuss. He's probably one of the most recognizable actors in our world at this point, at least in America, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Now, the last time he was relevant, at least I think to most people, was when he was in Fortnite, funnily enough. Well, honestly, maybe even when he put this banger out. As you all know, he put out a song called Face Off, and it's quite the banger. If you guys hadn't heard it, it's really good.
We gon' harm them, we gon' suck their dicks off. We gon' harm them, we gon' suck their dicks off.
It's about dick, it's about penis. Men are from Mars, but I'm from Venus. Put it in the butt, stick him in the shower, and take what's ours.
Pretty good song. Like, it's actually kind of a banger. I think it was pretty good, but he hasn't been relevant since he dropped this banger. He has not, like, had a lot of bangers since then, frankly. He was the lead actor in some DC movie recently. I did not see it. Apparently, many others did not see it either, because it did not do well in the box office. And I guess he's kind of entered this bitter state of, like, washed, where no one really gives a shit about him anymore. Like, I haven't really seen him in movies as much lately. I could be wrong, to be fair. I'm open to being proven wrong. Maybe he's been, like, doing a ton of work lately, but I haven't seen him in much lately, and what he has been in hasn't really gotten big, you know? Didn't he play Maui? That was when I was in high school, so that gives you some perspective on how long it's been since he did something big. He returned to WWE. Maybe that's part of it. Regardless, the reason why we're talking about him is because Dwayne Johnson won't endorse a presidential candidate in the 2024 election, notably not Biden. Quote, "Between me and the ballot box, my goal is to bring our country together. I believe in that, in my DNA," The Rock said. So in the spirit of that, there's going to be no endorsement. So I guess Rock is taking sort of the like enlightened centrist position here, which is effectively an endorsement of Trump. Like, either you stand against the values that Trump is pushing, because those values are not an opinion-based thing. They're the values that will be enforced on everyone if he wins. Either you are in favor of them and are okay with them being law, or you are not. So, are you not, or are you in favor? Because it seems like you're in favor, and you're just not, like, brave enough to say you are, by the looks of things. After endorsing Joe Biden in the 2020 presidential election, Dwayne "The Cock" Johnson said in a new interview that he won't publicly support either candidate, whether it's Biden or Donald Trump in 2024. Quote, "I think it's between me and the ballot box," he said. In September 2020, the wrestler turned actor and self-described political independent and centrist, oh boy, he calls himself a centrist, broke from his personal tradition by throwing his weight behind the Biden and Kamala Harris ticket, which marked the first time he had ever backed a candidate in his decades-long career. I wonder what's happened since 2020 that's changed that, considering Biden has, like, caused record economic growth, record sustained economic growth, like economic recovery, lowest sustained job, lowest sustained unemployment rate. Like, I don't know what else you could fucking ask for at this rate. Like, the longer Biden is in power, the more these things are going to make people's lives better. It's just a matter of keeping him in office so he can keep doing his unironically based Bidenomics. However, in a new interview with Fox and Friends, yes, I wonder where his biases are now. Certainly not one to sow division, am I right? Johnson said this time around he won't publicly endorse any candidates. Quote, I am going to do that again this year? That answer is no. I'm not going to do that, Johnson said. Quote, because what I realized, what that caused back then was something that tears me up in my guts back then and now, which is division, and that got me. You mean, like, division between people who like democracy and people who don't? Like, is that... I mean, I like democracy. I think if people have such a big problem with me liking democracy, that's, like, a dividing thing. then maybe we should be divided. I don't know if we should be on the same side if they don't like democracy. I'm a helldiver. I don't believe in that. I'm against those that are against democracy myself. Here we have the interview, though. If we want to take a look, it's not too long. Let's see what it's about. I knew it was gonna play an ad. It's Fox, of course. It's gonna play an ad. Here, I'll mute it. Actually, I'll mute it while we watch the ad play on screen. Oh my God, are those the scam colorblind glasses? For those that don't know, I hate the websites who do this. For those that don't know, colorblind glasses like that are a complete scam. So it's really funny that Fox is advertising them. Anyway, back to it.
Turning to the ring for WrestleMania 40.
But first, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson sat down.
Hey, listen. The right got The Rock. The left got John Cena. I think the left won in this trade-off, frankly. We got John Cena. We won.
Down with co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, Will Kane.
Will Kane
What's up,
joins
guys?
us live.
Yeah, and I'll be going to
Batista,
WrestleMania
true.
on Sunday. I was really excited when The Rock reached out. He wanted to do Fox and Friends. And he's a fascinating guy. By the way, hour of which is on the Will Kane show today. Fascinating conversation. Went way over our time budget. We talked about life, legacy. We talked about wrestling, him turning heel. But he told me, look, Will, I'm an independent. And he made an endorsement.
Isn't it weird how all these independents and politically, like, homeless people and centrists are always, like, gravitating towards Fox News and other conservative outlets? It's almost like centrist almost always means conservative who's too much of a pussy to admit it. Reminder, by the way, the fact that people are too afraid to admit they're conservative or that they're racist or bigoted in, like, certain ways and they dog whistle it is a sign that we've already won. They have to convince people they are not what they are before people will give them the time of day. That is a weakness the left does not have. We can be honest about what beliefs we have, and we don't have to, like, pretend we believe in things that we don't believe. The right does. The right has to always operate through euphemism and dog whistle, lest they push away those that haven't gotten deep enough into the, like, right-wing onion.
Politically, he said, I'm an independent. He made an endorsement in 2020, and everybody remembers. And that's one of the things I wanted to ask him about. How do you feel about that endorsement? How do you feel about America? Here's what he had to say. So I want to ask you this. What is it that you believe that is important to you no matter its popularity?
To be real and to be direct and to
I imagine everything he's going to say is going to be very pandery and very, like, media trained. He is an actor. He has existed in media for a long time. He's very good at pretending to be down to earth. I'm sure that's what he's going to play.
be open and to be transparent. And as you and I have talked about, if you ask me a direct question, I'm always going to give you a direct answer, whatever it is. And that's important to me. And authenticity, we hear that word a lot, but that's important to me. And I feel like, and I mean, we could go down the well here, but there's, in today's easy cancel culture world, and cancel culture, woke culture, this culture, that culture, division.
Mind you, all of this is just a euphemism for people having different opinions. Whenever people get upset at a conservative for loudly belting out some ignorant bullshit that is his opinion, that he's allowed to state, it's freedom of speech and all, they always get upset at any pushback to that, saying it's not freedom of speech, it's not freedom of speech, give us our freedom of speech, why are you getting so mad? And yet, what they call cancel culture is just people disagreeing. Every time. If you actually got canceled, you had to have done something illegal or against, like, a private platform's terms of service if you actually got canceled. Otherwise, it's just people having a problem with you. Maybe someone lied about you. In that case, you need to clear your name and you know, argue against that lie. But you can't control what other people say about you online. And if other people talking about you negatively online determines your politics and not, like, what party is pushing the good policy as opposed to the bad policy, then you're a child. Your view of politics is that of a teenager.
And etc. that really bugs me. And in the spirit of that, you either succumb and be what you think other people want you to be, or you go, well, no, that's not who I am. I'm going to be myself, and I'm going to be real. If you ask me something, a real answer is important, and the truthful answers.
The fact that he just keeps on reiterating how he's being real right now and he's being truthful while saying this, like, very vague, I'm a centrist who doesn't want to cause division statement, tells me that the exact opposite of what he's saying is true, and he is being very not real right now, and is trying to distract from actually, like, indicating where his politics are. Nobody is politically neutral. That's not how politics works. If you think you're politically neutral, you really need to evaluate that concept, that idea. I ask you to do so. Just that idea that you think you're politically neutral. Because the idea that you can be politically neutral when one side is so insanely radical and the other side, by comparison, meaning the left, is, I guess, radical in the sense that they're far from where the other end is, you can't really take a centrist position because the majority of people aren't centrists. One side or the other is going to win out, and one side is morally bad. And if you don't agree that one side is morally worse, then that's a very strong political belief that you can't pretend you don't hold and pretend isn't worth challenging, because it is. The only people who won't challenge it are the right, because they're the ones who rely on people being politically disaffected. The left is at a detriment if people are politically disaffected. The right loves when people don't care about politics and don't care to go out and vote and don't care to talk about politics.
It's important, and that may get people upset, it may piss people off, and that's okay. But it took me some time to recognize that. At first I was, in a way...
He just said it's okay if this pisses people off. So you guys bet he's not going to get mad at all about the response to this? Do you guys want to bet that he won't get upset at all? That people get upset and call him out for what he's saying here? Or do you think he's going to get upset and it's not going to be fine if people get mad about this? I'm going to guess it's not going to be too fine if and when people get mad about this.
Adverse to fame, and I didn't understand the power of it, how it could swing both ways. And finally, as I got down the road a little bit and started achieving some notoriety, a little bit of success here and there, I start to realize, oh man, this is a superpower. The fame is a superpower when used correctly, I believe, when you could use it to influence people and also use it to influence other people in terms of, again, being direct and being honest.
Yes, that's what people were asking you to do by advocating for a political candidate, whether it be Republican or ideally Democrat, because you seem to have a political stance in 2020, but now you're walking it back in 2024. And the place you chose to go to talk about this is Fox News. Your bias is clear. Like, you obviously support Trump. That this is, you're on Fox News, on the Trump show, Fox and Friends. Like, obviously, you support Trump, and this is your way of saying you do, but you're too cowardly to outright say it. Man. I really do think it's important to remember, though, that celebrities are afraid to admit they support Trump. That is very, very important to remember. Celebrities are afraid to admit they're right-wing, and we need to keep it that way and continue to make things move in that direction. You should be afraid to admit that you hold such bigoted and awful values. Absolutely. It should be a thing you're afraid of. It should be... You should have to come out about it like people used to have to come out about being gay. Like, with great amounts of fear and worry.